Hey, once again, the South brings us another banger of a game.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them.
Listen. Instant reaction, Munich, Madrid. What a hell of a game this was. The game of the week, the game we all anticipated. The South delivered on another beautiful game. Athletes Forum Podcast. I'm your host, Jamal Clay. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. Let's not waste too much time. Let's get right into this. This was another classic, and I feel like we've gotten a couple like classics this year in the season 5 in the European League of Football. But this one was no different. This was another classic. We knew it going into it. We knew it would be high scoring. We knew it would be fast paced. We knew there would be potential. There would be potential that would come down to the wire, and that's what it did. As the Munich Ravens pull off another thrilling win, adding to their resume, securing their dominance in the South, and proving that they are a team that is championship level. But it wasn't all pretty in this game. There were some weaknesses shown, but there were also some bright spots. First, before we dive into this game, I'll talk a little about Madrid, talk a little about Munich, what it means for both teams. And as I said before, let's not waste too much more of the time. So this game, 43-40, a banger of a game. Let's start with Madrid. Going into early in the season, I wasn't so high on Madrid. I felt like this was a team that going up against a team that was more physical than them, that they could kind of get bullied around. This is a team that actually got better. All right, this is a team that, to me, is still the greatest show in Europe. This team, if they get into the playoffs, is a fearful team because they will challenge and push anyone. Right? They will make you put up at least 21 to 24 points at least in order to stay put with them. This is a team that is obviously their strengths, their offense. We know that. We know the type of players that they have. Don't get me wrong. The defense played better this time around. I thought the defense played a lot better, and they've been playing better since their bye week. And you saw that in the Raiders game. You saw that, obviously in this game, and they're continuing to get better. But now they got an uphill climb because you got 2 in-division losses. All right, you lost to the Raiders once. In a game you probably should have won. You lost to Munich. You get both those teams again. So you're not completely out of it, but now it's definitely a little bit more interesting. All right. Definitely a little bit more interesting. But let's talk about this game. I thought Madrid came out hot. 2 touchdowns right off the bat in the first quarter. End up scoring 12 before going into halftime, putting it at I think it was 26-9. I thought they looked smart. I thought Reece Sennett is going to be dangerous if they get into the playoffs because he's a smart quarterback. He knows how to play the position well. He knows when to use his legs, when to hit the check down. All right. Sometimes does he force it? Yeah, he does. We saw that a little late in the game. But Reece Sennett is a hell of a quarterback, man. A hell of a quarterback. Kudos to him. I mean, he threw for 426 yards, zero interceptions, 4 touchdowns, 0 sacks. I mean, this guy balled. And like usually we're seeing this guy have about 306 tutties. I mean, on a Munich team whose head coach and identity is supposed to be their defense, but it may not be this year. He did what he was supposed to do. Rushing, I think is what is interesting what Andrew does because he'll give you the idea that they're going to utilize their rush. He'll do it in the start of the game, and then he'll do it right after halftime, and then he'll get into his bread and butter, and that's the spreading the ball around in the pass game. Aaron Krushank under 100 yards. Still had 2 touchdowns, but under 100 yards, 97 on 9 catches. Edo Molina played well. I thought what Munich did. Let me get this. Let me say this. Aaron Krushank, Munich was able to make Aaron Krushank frustrated throughout this game, right? They had a good game plan coming into this game. They allowed Aaron to get his, but they didn't allow the others to get theirs. Juan Flores Calderon, 3 catches. Jordan Tordelia, 4 catches. Sexton Dragon, 5 catches, right? But all less than 80 yards, right? all less than 80 yards. Eno Molina was probably their best back with second best receiver with 96 yards, but he was most of those were off checkdowns. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do, but that gives you an idea. It's like, hey, listen, Aaron's going to get his, but no one else is getting theirs, and Munich did a great job of that. Madrid, again, we talked about earlier, they're in the uphill battle now. You know, they're going to need some help along the way, and they're going to have to take care of their business. All right, this was a game that they needed. This was a game that was a must win, and this was a game that they just couldn't get it done. And when you look at the teams that they face and the times that they face them, Frankfurt at the time they faced Frankfurt was a top tier team, and you know they weren't able to pull together. The Raiders, not top tier, but really above average, they lost to them. Munich, a top tier team, they lost. So when you look at their schedule, who have they really beaten? The Enthroners, right? You beat Hamburg, right? So we'll see how this is going to play out the rest of the season. On the other side, Munich. Hey, Tabor time, man. Hey, he didn't play well in that first half. He didn't play well. I think Munich as a whole got off to a slow start. They wasn't getting the ball in the end zone, only held to 3 field goals, but they came out explosive. It came out explosive in the third quarter, scoring 20 points in the third quarter. Russell Tabor, 264, 3 touchdowns, one interception, and 2 sacks. I thought Justin Rodney, I wanted to see him get going a little bit more. Only 14 carries for 88 and a touchdown. Malik Stanley was the difference maker today. But it felt like Malik Stanley was the guy that, you know, was at 1,000 yards in 6 games, was the guy that was on pace to the Triple Crown, was the best player on the field. He went for 169 and 2 touchdowns, right? 2 touchdowns. And we're seeing the tight end, Akan will get involved more, right? 46 passing yards and one touchdown. Russell Tabor, he continues to play better as well. And Munich is battle tested. When you look at what Munich has done this year, that first game against the Surge, they didn't start off well, but they played better in that second half. Right. Second game against the Surge, played pretty strong throughout the whole game. Last 4 minutes got a little crazy, similar in this game too. But Munich found a way to win. Same in this game. They didn't get off to a fast start. They got off to a slow start, and then they found a way. They chipped away at the lead. They made stops. They made Madrid punt the ball. They got a big stop on 4th down, and Russell Tabor just kept driving the ball. Coach Callahan had a good game plan and knew how to switch things up, and he figured Madrid out. And I mean, kudos to that Munich defense holding Madrid to only 14 points in the second half. This was a hell of a game. It still only came down to 3 points. It still only came down to a field goal at the end. And obviously we know what happened. And Munich gets the win, a much needed win, because the next time these two play, Madrid has to come to the Bavarian territory. Madrid has to come to the Flock, Raven territory, the Hofbräuhaus, Oktoberfest. Madrid has to travel now and try to win in a hostile environment against Munich. This was a great game. What does this mean for these two teams going forward? Munich's pretty much in the driver's seat, right? Obviously, they do play the Raiders. They do play Madrid again, but they're pretty much in the driver's seat, you know, for the most part. Not Madrid. Yeah, Munich's pretty much in the driver's seat for the most part. And this is hell of a game, man. Hell of a game. Again, 43-40. This was a banger. I might have to do another episode of top tier games or top 5 games in ELF history and add a couple just from this year alone. I'll go ahead and drop the link before for the other videos I did for those top 5 games. But this was a great game. And Munich pulls out the win, and it's fun watching these teams grow. Another thing that I do want to touch base on before we exit out, and again, Athletes Forum Podcast, subscribe to the channel. And Locker Room, you let me know what you think. I'd probably say since the third expansion class, we got Helvetic, we got Paris, we got Munich, we got Milan, we got Prague, we got the Enthroners. Right, that was the big expansion class, and obviously we see where teams are, where teams at. But I do want to give credit to the league, because when you look at what Prague is doing, when you look at what Munich is doing, Paris, and then you add Madrid the following year and Nordic the year after that, they've done a better job at vetting ownership. They've done a better job at finding teams, building teams, that can compete in this league. And this league's going to grow, whether we want it to grow or not. They may downsize. And I know that's probably the best thing for a competitive advantage, but this league is going to continue to add teams. So I would say this. Trust that the league going forward, I just gave you 5 teams, right? Trust that the league's going forward is going to pick a location that they feel can compete. It's going to pick owners that they feel can run an organization right. It's going to pick leadership, right? That's going to put these teams in the best position to win. Trust that the league can get that done. Based off those last 5 teams I said, Prague turned around, right? Nordic, Madrid, right? Paris, Munich. It's not crazy to think all those teams could be in the playoffs this year. So you let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. What do you guys think about this game? Where does this rank in regards to ELF history? All right. What do you think of Munich? What do you think of Madrid? All right. Do you have faith Madrid could find a way? Do you think Munich is a top 3 team?